Hello there guys, this is StreetFreak7 and today I'm going to be doing a video on all of the interactive parts. So this is going to start a series of like more basic features of Scrap Mechanic and more how to play sort of things. So this is more for people who are new to the game, because I know a lot of people are getting into Scrap Mechanic because of the survival update. So these are all the interactive parts I'm going to be going over. I'm not going to go over any of the sound stuff like the radio or the Totebot Heads. And I'm not going to go over all the lights. Oh, I forgot about the spud gun. I'll add that in. But because all the lights really function the same, I'll show those off now. They have a slider to adjust their brightness. And then you can connect them to a trigger like a button or switch to turn them on. So yeah, that's pretty much all the lights do. What? I still want that there. Okay, so let's start off by making a little car, and that'll show off like the driver's seat and engine, suspension, that sort of thing. I also forgot to put suspension over there. Goodness, I am so good at this game. Cool. So let's build ourselves a basic car. So we're going to need suspension. I'm just going to use off-road. Sport suspension works the same way. It just has less suspension travel, so it won't do as much off-road stuff as well. We're going to go with the driver's seat. The driver's saddle and the driver's seat work the exact same way, just they're different sizes. So it depends on whether you want an even width to your creation or an odd width to your creation. And then you've got a saddle and a passenger seat to go along with those as well. The passenger seat, you can just hook up buttons to those. And same with the toilet, the office chair, the saddle, and the bathtub as well. Okay, so let's get into that car. I'm going to need me some blocks. And I'm going to build the base heavy, because that usually helps out a lot. Okay, what do I need? Well, I need wheels. Yep. Okay, let's try that and see where this goes. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a even width platform, because I'm using the driver's... Oh, I just built that odd. Goodness, that's embarrassing. So let's add another block to that, and then we can put our driver's seat in there in the center. And then I'm going to put an engine on here as well. So that's the gas engine. The gas engine and electric engine just work the same way in connections and whatnot, but they have different functions. So I'll put both on here and show them both off. So, okay, so I'm going to build up a bit for the suspension so I don't have like really long spindly legs coming out the bottom of my car for the suspension. Oh no, I need to go up a block higher on the front, because on the front I want to make room for steering, and that's going to add an extra block to this. Now there are ways to compact this. I'm just doing a basic car for the purpose of this video, because this is just to show different elements of Scrap Mechanic to people who are learning. So you can tell you're placing it on that suspension when it highlights green as well. So we'll do that. I'm going to put it on the lift again to get the lift in the center so I can keep building. So I'm going to put a bearing on the bottom of each of these, and that's going to be my steering. So bearings, they work a bit differently than other interactive parts. You have to connect them to something before they do anything. So they can be connected to engines, seats, controllers. I think those are the only things they can be connected to. So And on the bottom of these, we're going to place a block, bearing, and a wheel on each side. Now this isn't going to be a great car, I'm just doing it for the purposes of showing off these parts. Okay, so in the back, we're going to do similar as well, except I'm going to go one block shorter on the back, actually. Is that the same height? Yeah, it is. Okay, we're going to go one block shorter on the back because we don't have to put in the steering, and we still want the wheels to be at the same level. Okay, there and there. Okay. So now that we've got that, we can take this off the lift. Oh, and you see the suspension's kind of compressed. You can also adjust these to make that go up as well. So this is just the stiffness, how much resistance this suspension is giving off. Okay, so let's connect this all up. So I'm going to start with the steering because it's not fun to have floppy wheels. Or actually, I'm going to start with the engine. Always remember to connect up your engine. I'm just going to connect up both because I'm going to be showing off both and whatnot. Yeah, so always connect up both because you don't want it to run off with you. Because if it's not connected to the seat, but you've connected it to, the wheels, it'll drive away. So I just connected the steering and flipped them. If I flip it that way, it goes the opposite. Oh, I've made a horrible mistake with this car. Okay, let's fix that. So I haven't given the steering enough room to work, so I'm going to build this back. Then I can delete that, and that should give the steering enough room to work. Let's do that on this side as well. And if I was really going for something special, I'd use a lighter material there because I don't want that to be top heavy, but it's going the wrong way right now, so I can flip those bearings and then it'll go the correct direction. So now I'm going to connect up the wheels. We'll do the gas engine first. So you just drag it to those wheels. You want to make those arrows go the way you want it to go if you're going forward. So yeah, I need to flip that, and that should be fine. Yep, that's fine. Okay, and turn up the engine a bit. So I can turn. Yay, car. This is actually surprisingly stable. Probably because I don't have it going very quick. Okay, so the electric engine, the gas engine you can see is like a gradual increase in speed. There's not a ton of torque. The electric engine is the opposite. It's much slower, but it puts out a ton of torque. It's very powerful, so it's very good for like hill climbing or rock crawling and stuff like that. Oh, I forgot to turn it up. So I can put that up. And you can see it accelerates very quick, but it doesn't get very quick. I can put this up faster as well. We'll put it up to max and just see what happens. Oh, that's actually not horrible. So yeah, the electric engine can be good for certain creations. It really depends on what you want. So yeah, so that's the car. Now I'm going to drive this back over there, and we will hook up some other parts to it and show off what those do. Okay, so let's go on. I already told you what the seats do, so let me just show that. I can take any of these 4 seats, and you can do this with the driver's seats as well. You can connect them to parts like buttons or switches, and then those buttons or switches can connect into other parts, so you could put them on engines, you could put them on thrusters, any of these parts that I haven't shown you yet, except for sensors. They're also a trigger, so you can't put them into those. So I could put it into this spud gun per se. And spud guns, they shoot when you power them. They shoot a potato. So it goes into that seat, so I can press that from here. And I could do that on a button, and that would be a bit better. Okay, so let's add a thruster to our car. and I can show you how that works. Thrusters, it's pretty obvious how they'd work. You can connect them into the forward on your seat. Obviously, they won't go backward. And there are also ways you can connect up some of the interactive parts to make like WASD converter sort of things. So you can have different thrusters that trigger on backwards. So yeah, that's all the thruster is doing. If I disconnect my wheel, if I disconnect my wheels, let me see, I can turn up the thruster, and that should power us. Yep, so right now I'm going only by thruster. That's all thrusters do. They power you in whichever direction they're pointing. It's actually pretty good. But the problem is don't have brakes or anything. Okay. I'm going to connect up a wheel so it keeps going places. Cool. Now let's do these parts. So the controller. Oh, yeah. I'm going to start a new thingy here. The controller, the logic gate, the timer, and buttons and switch. Oh, sensor as well. So we'll start with the sensor. So the sensor is like a button or switch. You can put it on button or switch mode, and that just determines how it acts. Button means like whenever something's in front of it, you see the green light, that means it's on. It'll turn off when there's nothing. So kind of like a button if you were pressing it. But if you put it on switch, you can see it stays on, and then if I cross it again, it turns off. And then you can set colors that it'll sense, so it won't just sense anything, it'll only sense colors. I'm not going to go into depth about that because I only have 15 minutes for this. You can also turn on the sounds, and they're really annoying, honestly, so I leave them off. So now let's go on to timer. So I'm going to put a button on that to show how it works. So the timer can trigger things, but it has a delay. So let's put it on 3 seconds. So I can hold this button for 3 seconds, or I can hold the button, and whenever the blue line is at the top, that means that something is powered. Once it's black, again, it's off. So you can do some pretty cool stuff using the delay from these. You can make sorts of clocks. You can time those clocks perfectly. Logic gates, I'm not going to go into a ton of depth about. They're also a trigger. So I'm going to put a few of these. We'll do 4. And so you can look in them, and they have AND or XOR. AND means all of the link triggers have to be active. So if I had 2 switches on it, this logic gate would only turn on if both switches were on. Or would mean only one of the switches would have to be on. And XOR, this is more if you have more than 2 switches, would be like only if like an odd number are active. So if 1's on, it's on. If 3 are on, it's on. If 5 are on, it's on. So it's like every time you flip a switch, it changes its output. So you can use that for doors. So on either side of the door, you can have a switch, you know, and power the XOR. So let me see. Yeah, I can put that into there and that into there. And I flip that, you see it's on. If I flip the other one, it's off. If I flip that, it's on. So whichever switch you flip, it changes the output. I'm not going to go over all of these in depth, and NOR just means it's the opposite. So if it's linked to a trigger and that trigger's on, it's off. That's all. So you can use that to make a clock circuit by looping a bunch of ANDs or ORs together with one NOR, and that'll make a clock circuit like that, and that can be used for certain creations. So yeah, that just about does it for my video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and if you have any questions, leave a comment and ask me, because this is a small channel. I can probably respond. See y'all next time.